I know there's been a little bit of a break from this series, but I like to kind of keep this one nice and spread out. Anyway, today I did say that we were going to rush through and try and get a load of research done. And as you can see from this wonderful little tech graph here, we do have quite a lot of the research done. It'll get us all the way up to sort of the yellow blocks. Not quite, the yellow blocks are here, but we've still got a little bit more to go. But we have unlocked quite a few different things that are going to enable us to do a few more things. One of them being the interplanetary thing. So this will let us ship out a little bit of logistics around our current planet, or around individual planets anyway. But in order to do this, I know that we're going to be needing a lot of power. So I thought we'd start off today by trying to get a plant set up that is going to make us some solar powers. Luckily for me, we're kind of in a decent place here where we are now, because I know that we need the high purity silicon. Likewise, I know that we need the little computer chip thingies, but we also need some of this bad boy over here. So what we'll do is we'll bring the iron ingot across, we'll bring the copper ingot across and have it all running down here nicely. So hopefully this will do us, it'll put us in good stead anyway. So what we want to do is, because I know that this can only reach 4, can't it? So if we bring this here, and if we can, ship it there. And then likewise, if we bring our assembler in, we'll keep the assembler nice and close. We might be lucky in that we might be able to go straight, yes we can, from the storage into the assembler. That is awesome. And then we're basically going to ask this bad boy to do us some solar panels, just simply because it's going to be a lot of planets that we can use this stuff from. So this will really hopefully help us out a little bit. Currently we don't need that to go any further than that, so we'll just tighten that off nicely, and that'll do us there, and that'll waz those into there. Looking at it, there's no more development, as it were, from solar panels, so we can just bung them straight into storage, as long as we've got a sorter to do so. So that'll enable us to do that, and so that's cool. That'll keep us all nice and charged up in here. Again, we can reduce this. I don't know how many stacked solar panels can go, so if we say 3 stacks to start with, we should be good. That is going to give us 9 a minute. 9 a minute is a little bit slow, so what we will do is we'll get another assembler. Run a second assembler up, so we're here. Now what I'll do is, if I run it from this one, likewise, this one's alright, this one can stay nice and close. So we're here. What I'm going to do is run a conveyor belt this way, and then we'll put our storage here. And then we just need some iron, just so that we can build a couple more assemblers. I don't mind using the slow ones right now. We don't need to use anything super fast. So what we can do is, bada bing, bada boom. That's going to take everything that it needs. Will also help if we feed in the chips. Same with this side, feed in the chips. There we go. So while we look at this, what we need to see is that we need to upgrade these two here. Luckily, we do actually have the upgrades for the tier 3 sorters and stuff now, so we'll just come over here and grab us some of those, and then what we can do is we can give ourselves a couple of tier 3 sorters, and that'll help speed everything up a little bit. So this can start whizzing and this can start whizzing over, but the rest should be good. And already we've got ourselves 20. That's pretty good. So hardwood packs are 20. So if I ask it to do 100, I mean that should be ample. Every time we kind of pop out everywhere, that should be pretty good. So I want to upgrade that, and I also want to upgrade that. There we go. That's going to keep that feeding nicely, and that'll keep us with our solar. So what this is going to let me do is going to let me upgrade the current electrical output here on this planet, but it'll also let me upgrade the stuff that we've got over yonder. Where are we? On these guys, because these guys are actually pretty close to the sun, so they're going to give us some good energy, and then we can also, when we get to it, we can ship that energy back across to every other planet that we need to. So this will work out pretty well for us. I should just take you on a quick tour as well what we've done and upgraded. I've put 2 liquid storages here for the refined oil plastics. I've put a liquid tank for the hydrogen here. Apparently hydrogen can be stored as a liquid, which is helpful for us because you get more storage from a liquid tank than you do from a small storage. So I've got another oil extractor here, which is currently pumping up a load of oil out this way, just to keep the power up for these bad boys. I did have these running off of surplus refined oil, but we got to a point where they were using more refined oil than what we were able to keep it locked up with. Had a little bit of a play with these guys, so we are pumping out good amounts of refined oil and hydrogen, and I've got this one sort of set a weird little loop. So basically what it's saying is it's picking in crude oil and hydrogen from this main belt, but then it's also kind of pumping hydrogen out and back into itself, and that kind of keeps the hydrogen levels nice and high so that it's always producing. Any excess hydrogen gets put onto the main belt, which goes down to the research lab, which has kind of worked out pretty well for me, in all fairness. But other than that, that's sort of all the changes that we did. Like I said, we were just waiting for the research to come in. Now, unfortunately for us, we've got to a point where we are actually exhausted quite a lot of the rock on this planet. So I do need to try and get to the research for that interstellar logistics as soon as we can, which is going to see us needing to unlock this crystal strength, which will then in turn allow us to unlock the yellow matrixes. And then we can get on and build the yellow matrix, which is going to need diamond, and it's going to need high strength crystal. That'll help us work out what we need to do for that. Luckily for us, diamond I know is refined carbon again, or smelted carbon again, so we'll be able to tap into this carbon line and be able to smelt some of the carbon down into diamonds. But I would like to be able to get some foundations in, kind of make this less water and more foundation. But we, like I say, we don't have much rock here, so we're going to have to go on a trip to outer space to this bad boy over here and get ourselves some of our resources back, because I know that we've set up a stone mine over there, so we'll just jump in and we'll do that now. And like I say, I'll take the solar with us, and that'll help us get going when we need to. While we're over here on this planet, I just had the stellar idea of smelting all the silicon before we get down there. As far as I'm aware, we don't need the raw silicon for much, the silicon ore for much, so I might as well run all this through a smelting system so that we're only actually going to be returning the silicon plate, which we really need, the refined silicon stuff. Kind of makes a little bit more sense. It seems to cut out the middleman as well, so we're not sort of flogging up the home planet with too much stuff that we don't necessarily need. So what we can do is cut this conveyor belt here and run it this side so that we can in fact unload onto it. But before we do that, we'll get all these in first, just so that we've actually got conveyors that are going to be giving us some goodies. But that'll sort us out nicely in there. Then if we can take all this silicon back in here, we'll just be able to sort of repump this back in, and it'll actually put us in a better position to go forwards. We've got a little bit of a pure silicon manufacturing process set up here, which is piling them in here nicely, which is great for us because it means that we'll actually be able to ship back the silicon. We'll do the same thing with the titanium, and then we'll end up freeing up a lot more space on the home planet, so we're just bringing back the material in its best form so that we can actually just get on with it and smelt it down and do what we need to do with it. So that'll be great for us. So again, similar sort of process, we'll just whack it on the end here and just run it up. That'll be great. And then we can start to pump in plates. Bada bing, bada boom. So that'll get us some plates in there, and it'll do us some goodness out here. And hopefully get us up with some plate production, and then we're not going to worry too much about the resources that we're taking back across. That should give us ample power to just do what we need to do, and we're well underway to get that. So with that currently emptying all the titanium ore out of there and refilling it with titanium plates, we should be grand to get out of here and get on our merry way. We'll take some plates with us, as likewise we'll take some silicon with us. And we'll also take some stone with us as well, actually, because we need quite a bit of this, no doubt. So we'll just get ourselves back up to home planet and get us producing some yellow blocks, which I know that we're going to be needing a lot of. And that's what we're going to be needing the titanium plates for, if I remember rightly. So without further ado, let's just go. So now we know that we need to start making some yellow blocks. What do we need to produce yellow blocks? Okay, so we need these diamonds. There's basically smelted carbon, and we also need these crystals, which is our green leaf and our titanium plate. Okay, what do we need for our green leaf? We need plastics, we need refined oil, and we need water. They're made in a chemicals plant, right? Which is good for us, because over here we've got plastics and we've got refined oil. And we've also got carbon. So here's what we're going to do with this. We're going to get these output in plastic this side as well. And we're going to take the refined oil and also put it into a chemicals plant. And we'll also get some water and just run the water into it, so that we can set up production around this sort of watery bit that we've got here currently. So I Yes, we could run one there. Ooh, it's not going to work. Okay, so a little bit confusing, but what we're saying is we want water in there and we want water in there. But we also want this to output and then this to output. That should hopefully get us producing what we need to produce, hopefully. Get it all powered up. So as well, what we want is to say, yo, empty plastic into there. And this needs to empty plastic into there, and it's going to pick it up there. So then that should have everything it needs other than oil now, which is okay, because that's around here. So that'll pick up oil there. And it'll be the same with this dude. He's just short of oil, which is cool, because we're oil here, and that's input into there. And that is everything going into both of them now. So they should, fingers crossed, be producing us exactly what we need. And in fact, we can take that to put it there instead. So that one hasn't got a run so far. Then if we just logistics this. So this will be nice and good here. Then we just got to take that to where we need it. Which is to an assembler. Okay, so titanium plates are over there. Switch direction of this conveyor belt round and go the other way. We'll run it somewhere here. With the thought process being, this is kind of where we're going to want to bring in everything. Now we can get rid of all of this as well. We don't need these. So what we're saying was over here somewhere we wanted to have that interstellar transport stuff. So we want to bring in titanium and everything else and just kind of run it all in here. So I guess what we need to be looking at is storage for everything really. So just with us being a little bit unsure of how we're going to set this all up, I'm just going to use big storage now for anything that we have to bring in from another planet, and small storage is just going to be for the basic stuff that we've got here right now. We're going to be needing an assembler, which we can just run up and get built, and we are looking to run in these bad boys, titanium crystals in this. So we've got our assembler set up. We'll run the titanium in. We'll run our organic crystals in, and we'll be pumping out this crystal that we need, and then hopefully we can pump that into a little bit of storage as well, which will keep us nice and on the go. Then we just need to bring us some diamonds over here, and diamond is obviously the smelted carbon again. So what we'll look at doing, if possible, so we need a little more coal output out of all this stuff. There's not an awful lot left, but luckily for us, again, at that planet that we keep going back to, there is quite a bit of coal out there if we need to get to it. So what we can do is we can tap into this. Get us some coal set up out here, so we've got twice as much running through. So this will give us all of our lovely coal that will hopefully get all this stuff set up. Now this is going to be producing carbon. This is our new one, and we're going to ask this to do us some diamonds. So this one is strictly feeding this and this only, which will be real helpful for us. And then what we can do is we can look at shipping the diamond and the crystal down this way again with all this stuff and get us set up somewhere around here where we can potentially set ourselves up some storage so we can get working on those yellow blocks, potentially. But to do that, we're going to have to tap in a couple of places. We're going to have to tap in this conveyor belt here. So if we could tap in on this corner, that would be great. So what we're doing here is tapping into here and asking this to filter carbon, and then we can run one more down here, get another splitter, put another splitter in here so that it can filter the oil through. So we're down here, we're asking this to filter the refined oil. And then we can just take all the extra stuff this way. Unfortunately, we are going to have to jump this. It's not going to be too much of a problem. So that'll get us over that, and then that will let us run our two things into here from where we can stick our storage. So basically what we're saying is one storage there, one storage there. Get ourselves some level 2 conveyor belts, of which we've got plenty now. And then we're going to cut that in that way. and cut that in that way. So this will be asking it, and this will be asking of it. Now this we want to set to diamonds, and this we want to set to the crystals. We're also going to need a little bit of power. Jobs are good. So now what we've got to do is just set up all this to send all this down here, which right now is going to be a long old conveyor belt, but that's not too much of an issue. If we can fit this conveyor belt in here, that'd be great, which we can. Pick up the diamonds if possible. Latch that into there. Now hopefully this will all work. So just watch all this pack of diamonds. It should continue to go straight on, they go round, and they do go into the storage, which is awesome. It's exactly what we wanted it to do. Cool. Just got to upgrade the speed of this, and we'll be laughing. There we go. So we can put the diamonds all in here. No. So we run up any diamonds, run up any crystal. Job is awesome. We want this bad boy to produce in yellows. And of course, it can't do that yet until it gets the supplies that we need. Running this, and unfortunately due to how we set it up, we do need a little bit of a conveyor. It's nothing too major. Put in that, boom, bada boom. Put in that, upgrade that, because we want to keep these things pretty well fueled up. And yeah, that should be getting us to produce some yellow block. And all we need is a little bit of storage to hold the excess, which for now we'll squeeze in here just to be awkward with ourselves. Running a conveyor there, and then run a conveyor in there. Lightning speed McQueen. And just get one more and we'll be good. So yeah, there we go. We've got somewhere where we need to be now for getting the yellow cube, so we can actually start getting some in, and we can potentially start researching, as well as actually how we do it for diamonds. It produces diamonds pretty quick, so we might as well get this up to speed and match everything else and get a few more so that we're producing more yellow cubes, and then that will be getting us in the direction that we need, because don't forget we are after this interstellar logistics system. There we go, production is up now. We're really on the cusp of consuming what we're using, so we do need to look at better ways to be producing power. Potentially we could just literally tap straight into a crude oil and run it straight into a power plant. That'll keep us burning pretty well. As well as that, we do now have, we will have, the ability to transport power across, so we can go set up huge solar arrays on different planets and just transport the power across. As well as, now that we've got yellow blocks, we can look at fusion power, so we'll get that up and running, so that we can get 2 of these on the go rather than just the 1. This will help things out, speed up production a little bit of these. They'll be good for us. It'll be good for us. But what's awesome is this is working. I know it's a little bit chaotic, a little bit hectic, but it is working for us, which is fantastic. Currently producing about 22 a minute. Says 11.3, but we have got 2, so we're going to bring a 3rd one in. This will help us again just keep trying and push that production out. Really, we'd like a nice steady flow of this stuff. When it comes to power production, we're going to be needing a lot of the batteries, the accumulators. So when we're pulling in silicon from outer space, we're going to be wanting to turn it into crystal. So this will be our silicon storage. And then what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to bring that down to smelt it. So what's in there is to smelt that silicon into crystals so that we're able to produce these batteries that we're then going to be sending out to other planets to enable us to gather electricity. So this is where things are going to get complicated, because we're going to need crystals. We're going to need something else that we haven't got produced yet, and that is these. And for this we need green motors. Oh, we need magnets that we don't have on a separate line, and we also need carbon. So potentially we can steal the carbon from this and run in a carbon line down here, which is what we will do. What we'll do instead is we'll use this silicon that we've already got over here, so we can smelt this silicon down, and we'll turn that silicon into crystals, and then we can pump down, hopefully anyway, pump down some storage. Remember, reduce this down so we're not constantly crashing them out. We need to bring the carbon line around, which is, we're going to tap out of here. So all being well, if we put another splitter in, the world of many splitters, we can ask this to take some carbon from here, and then we can run a carbon line down here somewhere. Carbon magnets and green motors. Our green motors are here, change this conveyor belt out to go this way, just to give us a little bit more room. So our magnets are over here and they currently don't have anywhere else to go right now. But what we could do is add another smelter, because we don't actually put magnets in storage right now, which is crazy, I know, but hey ho. So we're going to put that in there, put that in there. Now ask this to do magnets. Now if we bring these wide, we bring these real wide, I feel like this is going to not work like I want it to. But we can just do what we can do and hope the best, right? And that'll have magnets. And then we just need an assembler. And from that assembler, we'll be able to pull everything that we need, hopefully. So we're going to ask this to make these. In the interest in safety, I am going to split these two lines up because I just know that they're going to be a problem. You can see it happening already. They're going to cause me one heck of a headache. So I will literally just split these two lines up and try and capture the problem before it becomes a problem. At least that way it should never cause each other to crash or whatever out. It should always be what we want them to be. Now this is the storage that we want here, and this bad boy can fill this up. Again, reduce this down so we're not overloading. And all should be well. So we've got those now. We've got the blue production. The whole point of that was for these. So we need the crystals, we need those, and we need the iron plate. So crystals are over here currently. And with the iron plate, we might just take it up and over. So they're built in an assembler. So all being well, we can bring this line down here. Get ourselves an assembler. Get our assembler in. Hook him up. Then we just need to bring the iron ore in, which we can bring at any height, luckily. And it's level 1 conveyors, so that's not too bad. We'll just run this up, and run it down, and run it in. We'll get a super speedy on that one. Bada bing, bada boom. So that'll get us going and building some accumulators, which we can put into more storage, even more storage, and that'll help us sort of start to bring in a way to bring in excess power from the outside world. Again, we'll just do little storage. We don't need the big storage, and we'll just bring the storage in. Probably squeeze it in here. Happy days. And we can just drop that across. So that'll keep that nice and happy. Okay, so that was interesting. After a little bit of trying to tweak it out and work it out, we wanted to get 2 of these assemblers in here. So we did have to change the lines a little bit. I decided to run 3 separate lines. It wasn't a situation where it'd work for us to run it through some splitters to combine it and then try and split it, simply because one line would clog up quicker than the other. But this way, a little bit messy. We're starting to get a little bit more cramped in, but it's starting to work for us. What we've done there is give us some accumulators so we can get this up and running. What this will do is enable us to send and receive power from other places, and we've now got this bad boy unlocked as well. So in fact, what we'll do is we'll get this started up first and then have this power in. Reason being, it would be great to start shipping in the titanium and the silicon before worrying about power. I mean, I know that it's kind of one of the same, but maybe we can sort of start to set that up anyway. It's going to cost us a few bits of resource in order to do that, and it's also going to start costing us quite a lot of power. I know they're about 15 megawatts or something, or even more. But that was also why we researched this mini fusion power. So we've got to look at how we're going to go about doing all this kind of stuff as well. We are starting to get a little bit cramped up around the chemicals plant, so we might have to look at moving product off, sort of ship backwards and forwards, but we'll see. We've got the whole of this planet to look at. We're at the minute kind of nicely compact, shall we say, from pretty much where we started, but we can start to spread out a lot more and do a lot more things. I know it was a short one today, and I know it might not have gone as far as what you hoped we would do, but it was a little bit slow. We're waiting for a lot of research again, even though I thought I did everything that we needed to get off. But that wasn't the case. But anyway, I hope you guys appreciate it. We'll start to look at getting things shipped around the planets that we're actually on in the next episode. Promise you. But thank you very much for watching. I'll take it easy, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now. Bye, guys.